Are you trying to be a good person, to be a good human being? Are you trying to do good in the world and good unto others? If so, that's all very good, it's all very well. But we often mistakenly think that we need to be someone who is perceived as being good. We try to do the right thing because we're told what the right thing is. If you look to any religion, pretty much you will see a moral, ethical codex to live by. But these rules, if you will, they are just guidelines. They are concessions which are bestowed upon people who do not yet realize who they intrinsically are as pure awareness, as one unified being with all. Because if you were to realize who and what you are, if you were to realize who and what we all and what everything is, there wouldn't be a question about morality, there wouldn't be a question about ethics, because you could hurt someone in love. It could be the right thing to teach someone a tough love lesson. And that would be ethical, that would be right, it would be moral. But it would not be taught in any book or scripture. No one would tell you, or perhaps even recognize in you, that you did the right thing. Perhaps people might even complain to you that you were wrong for doing that particular thing. And that is radical love. That is doing what's right. That is why Jesus, Yeshua, when he went to the temple and people had set up stalls selling trinkets and whatnot, he whipped them all. He told them off. He told them to get out of there immediately. Why would a peaceful, selfless man turn to violence? Because it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing. It was a necessary action leading to these people being taught the lesson they needed to learn. Morality, ethics, being a good person, being a good human being is not something that we ought to strive to be. Rather, if anything, we ought to strive to know who we are. For in knowing who we are, we know also naturally, intrinsically, how to relate to everyone else as ourselves. For we share the same source, we share the same truth in being with everyone, with everything. So when you approach the world and other people from a place of knowing yourself as awareness, as being, as love, how could you ever act out of accordance with that fact? You could not. You simply would not, under any circumstance whatsoever, unless you be wavering in your realization for a single moment. Which is fine, it's perfect, it's also part of this whole play. You're allowed to do wrong at times, you're allowed to be a human being and make faults. There's nothing wrong with that, and we forgive, just as everything is forgiven. That is what is meant religiously by true forgiveness, that all actions, no matter how harsh, can and are ultimately forgiven already. We are our own worst and best judge. You know in your heart of hearts, in your truest being, in your essence, what resonates and what does not. So if you're acting, if you're doing the right thing, just to build an identity upon that, so that you see yourself as someone who is doing good in the world, who is making a positive impact, who is changing other people's lives for the better. If you're doing it for the recognition, for the fame, for the money, whatever the fuck it is, if you're doing it for that reason, well, it's all good. Nothing wrong with that. You're certainly doing better in the world than people who are not choosing to do good, so to speak. But at the same time, you're coming from a place of inauthenticity in yourself, and so perhaps you're trying to please other people too much. Perhaps you're trying to be portrayed either by other people or by yourself in a certain way, which is not true to your very being. So take a moment to consider perhaps if you're coming from a place of true realization in yourself, or if you're coming from a place of selfishness, of persona, of being perceived in a particular manner. What do you do when no one else is there to recognize you? Do you feel a need to share all your good doings with other people in your life? Are you seeking validation, recognition for your actions? Or do your actions not change in any way, regardless of circumstance? Well, if that is the case, just keep going. You're on the path, you're on the right path, you're doing great, my friend. Keep going.